talking about what's important in your hometown. This is Hometown Today on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
Welcome to Hometown Today on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Hometown Today is presented by Professional Floor Covering, your store for floors, and so much more. Randy and his team are here to help you design the perfect space. They have you covered when it comes to floors. Floors are in their name, so you know they're going to have you covered there. They've got just tons and tons of carpets to choose from, a lot of different types, styles, brands, including that great Stanton carpet lineup. But you think of a color, you think of a material for carpet, and they probably have it. They've also got a great selection of hardwood, laminate, the very popular LVP flooring. They've also got a great selection of tile and stone, and they do custom area rugs. You got a room that you need a very specific size or shape, they can help you. You choose from any of those great lineups of carpet, and they'll make you a custom area rug. Randy and his team will come out to your home, get everything measured up for free. They can provide suggestions on different type of flooring, let you know what's available at different price points to make sure they meet your budget. Visit them today at 713 Park Avenue in Beaver Dam or online at proflr.com. Kale Zomer filling in for Wally this morning. We'll say hi to Wally when he gets back tomorrow. Looking forward to that. And we've got Corey Sparks up in the WBEV Slumberland studios today helping us out. We appreciate Corey helping us out today, and I am happy to welcome in our guests on the show this morning. We are here with Anita Strike with the Beaver Dam Library, and we're also joined by local historian Roger Noll. Good morning to the two of you.
Good morning.
Hi. Thanks for being here, and Anita, nice to see you again. I know we got to visit very briefly with you last week as you brought along Jack Kwan, who's going to be doing a presentation coming up on the Korean War. And before we get you out of here today, of course, we'll remind everybody of the details on that one. But you're back because Beaver Dam Library has just been putting together some really great presentations, and there's another great one coming up that Roger here is going to be doing. Let's talk about what this presentation is going to be.
Well, it started way back in 2002 when I was president of the Historical Society, and we had all of these photos, but nobody was, you could come in and look at them, but you couldn't really get the idea of what they were and
how they didn't really have context.
Right. So I went to the women's affiliate, and I said, would you be willing to sponsor a documentary on the first 100 years of Beaver Dam's history? And they were very kind and gave me quite a bit of money. And the thing is that in 2002, nobody knew anything about computers. I mean, I didn't. And so I had to buy the software. Back then, it wasn't printer/scanner. You had to buy a scanner. You had to get microphones. You have to add music. And I really kind of had no idea what I was doing. But it turned out okay. In fact, it turned out really well, I think. And we showed it to the public at the Beaver Dam Community Theater, and it was packed. I mean, the entire theater was. We had to turn people away, so we had a second show, and it has not been shown since.
Oh wow! Okay, so this will be the first time since then that people have
in
had an opportunity.
22 years.
Wow! So how long did it take you to kind of put this whole thing together?
Forever. Because I was learning, right along, and I had to scan like about 1,000 pictures, and then put them in the video and do the narration and also add the music underneath. What happened was I took all of my computer stuff and took it down to the basement of the Historical Society, and I would work all day on it. In fact, I would sleep down there.
Wow.
I would
That's
fall.
dedication.
Yeah,
I would fall asleep at the desk, and then I'd wake up and say, "Whoa, let's see, where the heck was I?" Yeah, and what was funny too is when I finally got it done. I was so excited that I immediately called the women's affiliate and said, "It's done, it's done." And they said, "Well, can you show it to me? Show it to us, like at our next meeting." I said, Sure. But the thing was, I had not figured out how to get it out of my computer.
And onto something playable.
So what I had to do is we got a projector, and how movie studio type presentations are done on the computer now. Up in the upper corner, there's like a little screen that shows your finished work. So what we ended up doing was we took a projector and we just enlarged that little screen. And then after I was done, one of the women came up to me and said, "Well, we're not going to have it on that little screen, are we?" And I said, "No, I'll figure out something."
Yeah.
And so this was the age of VHS.
Yeah.
And DVD was just coming
starting.
in.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And so on the program itself, it did have the ability to write to DVD, but I had to go out and buy a DVD writer.
Okay.
And it only wrote on RW too.
Wow.
Which made it a little bit more expensive. But so then once I was able to get it on the DVD, then I could just play it on a DVD player and put it onto a VHS.
Okay.
For people to purchase.
I can't even imagine. I mean, how many DVD copies did you make at first? Did it take 3 days to make one, and you were like, "We're just gonna have one copy"?
Actually, there was someone on our board was pretty savvy, and once I got the first one done, he made me like about 10 of them.
Okay.
But yeah, it was nuts.
Wow, quite the process. We're here with Roger Noll, local historian, and Anita Strike with the Beaver Dam Library. We got to get to a break here in a second, but before we do that, if you want to just let folks know when and where they can catch this presentation.
It's not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday at 6 o'clock at the basement of the Dodge County Beaver Dam Library.
Mm-hmm.
And as you say that, like I look at my calendar and it's dawning on me that next Wednesday we're already going to be into July.
Right.
Right.
July
How did
2nd,
that
right
happen?
before 4th of July.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I've got the Calliope and the Columbus things doing.
Oh, yeah. All
Hopefully
right.
it's not so hot.
Yeah,
Oh,
hopefully
God.
it's not as hot as it was this past weekend. Well, again, that's coming up next Wednesday, July 2nd, 6 p.m. at the Beaver Dam Community Library basement. Roger Noll, Anita Strike are joining us. We'll step aside, come back with more after this on 95.3 WBEV.
Summer
WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
And welcome back to Hometown Today on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Hometown Today is presented by Professional Floor Covering, also brought to you by McKinstry's Home Furnishings in downtown Beaver Dam. We're here with Anita Strike from the Beaver Dam Community Library. We also have Roger Noll, local historian, here with us this morning. We're talking about Roger's upcoming program, A History of the First 100 Years of Beaver Dam. It's coming to the Beaver Dam Community Library next Wednesday, July 2nd at 6 p.m. So we talked before the break, Roger, a little bit about how this documentary came to be, but let's talk about some of the topics that you guys are going to cover and some of the things people can expect from this presentation.
Well, of course, we're doing the 100-year, which was done by the Centennial, which was documented by the Centennial book. But I always feel that, I mean, if you can see it, it's much better than just reading about it. I have done through the years, a lot of presentations on the history of certain things that happen in Beaver Dam. But there are certain areas where there's just not enough information to put it all into a presentation. So what this allows you to actually see those other smaller areas of Beaver Dam's history. And I think that's very important.
What are some of the different topics that are covered in different time periods?
Well, I mean, I go all the way back to the Indian occupation of the area. We follow it through to the early settlers, and then the Civil War, the Industrial Revolution here in Beaver Dam, the use of the lake. We look at some of the great figures in Beaver Dam, Judge Sloan, Mattie Horn, Fred McMurray. So I think there's a lot of information there that people will find interesting.
So for people that don't know, what are those actual first 100 years? What are the years themselves that time span covers?
1841 to 1941.
Okay. So you get through what, World War I?
World War I, and the celebration for the 100th anniversary was in June of 1941. So it's just before World War II.
Okay. Gotcha. Just before World War II. So that's the time span that the documentary covers. What else should we know about this documentary and your presentation coming up next Wednesday?
Well, just come and see it. I think, one of the greatest compliments I got during the showing of this at the Beaver Dam Community Library, and it cheered me up. One of my colleagues, this 10-year-old kid came running up to her and said, "Who knew history could be this much fun?" And that cheered me up a great deal. But I now remember that kid is now 30 years old, and that kind of depresses me.
Well, it's maybe the bright side is, hey, they're now 30 years old, and look at how much energy you still have, Roger.
Yeah,
You're doing good.
And I probably started a historian right there.
Exactly. You got somebody interested in history, and that's a great testament. You've done a number, there's been a lot of, presentations on history at the library. Obviously, you have done many of them. Is there anything about this one that sets it apart, makes it a little different?
Well, I think what I said before really sets it apart. There are certain areas of our history in Beaver Dam here that I could not, do an entire presentation on. So you get to see that in this context of the full 100 years.
Okay. So this is going to be next Wednesday, July 2nd at 6 p.m. over at the Beaver Dam Community Library. So it starts at 6 p.m. About how long are we expecting? Are we thinking?
It's long.
It's long? Okay.
It's about 2 hours long.
Okay.
We have an intermission. It fills up 2 DVDs. Yeah, and I would just like to say too, if for some reason you cannot make it on next Wednesday, these DVDs are available at the library.
I was just going to say that.
To
I'm
take out.
glad.
2 hours. I mean, you're covering 100 years of history and historical events and historical people. 2 hours seems pretty fair to cover all that. There's probably a lot more you probably would have loved to put into it and went, maybe I better not make this a 5-hour documentary.
Well, I was somewhat limited with the pictures that I had.
Sure.
Too. So, but yeah, I was very pleased with the 2-hour presentation.
Yeah, exactly. Is there going to be any commentary alongside of it, or is it just kind of simple as just sit down, enjoy watching the documentary?
It's basically, sit down and enjoy watching it. Obviously, if people have questions afterwards.
Yeah, okay, so there'll be an opportunity if people have questions or want to follow up on something.
My feeling on that is that people after 2 hours are just ready to go, and there will be very few questions.
Some other perks will have a door prize in the beginning.
Ooh.
Many door prizes.
Yeah, some from Roger's collection and some from some of the extras at the library that
And
we have.
refreshments.
And we always have light refreshments, and I try to keep those filled up throughout the presentation.
Especially that there will be a intermission. So.
Intermission.
Yeah, so there'll be some refreshments available there, some giveaways. So it'll be a fun time. Again, next Wednesday, July 2nd at 6 p.m. at the Beaver Dam Community Library in the basement. Anita, you had a note?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, this is a really good time just to meet your neighbors and kind of just reminisce about history too. And I've
Yeah.
seen that over Roger's presentations. A lot of people come together or plan to come and just make a night of it.
And it is air conditioned.
And
Yeah, that's a
free.
good point. That's a very fair point,
Yes.
especially as of the last few days. That comes in quite handy. So again, that's Wednesday, July 2nd, 6 p.m. at the Beaver Dam Community Library. And you make a great point there, Anita. I'm not surprised to hear that you've seen, people, neighbor meeting neighbor.
Right.
History is one of those things that I think a lot of people can very easily bond over.
Definitely. And new people that are new to town that want to know more about Beaver Dam, we've seen them come, as well as people that have lived here all their life.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, very interesting. Anything else? We're up against a break. Anything else about this presentation? I know when we come back, Anita, we'll talk with you about some other stuff coming up at the library. Anything else we should know about this presentation before we head to break?
No, I think that pretty well covers it.
All right, very good. That is Roger Noll, local historian. We also have Anita Strike with us here from the Beaver Dam Community Library. When we come back, we'll talk with Anita about some other really fun stuff that's going on in the library, because it's going to be a busy summer. So looking forward to more of that conversation when we come back here on Hometown Today from 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
Randy, owner of Professional Floor Covering, welcoming you back to Hometown Today on your hometown station, 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
Welcome back to Hometown Today on 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge. Hometown Today is presented by Professional Floor Covering, also brought to you by McKinstry's Home Furnishings in downtown Beaver Dam. If you're like me and you're closing doors when company comes over so people can't see in the rooms because you're just not sure what to do with them, you've just thrown down a plain old area rug and a bed or whatever it may be, for you and I, there is help at McKinstry's Home Furnishing. Sandy and the team there would be happy to sit down with you, discuss decorating ideas, and formulate a complete plan for any or all of the rooms in your home. Here's how you do it. Just bring them some measurements and a couple pictures of the room that you need help with, and decide any items you want to keep, and then they can discuss with you your paint colors, your furniture styles, your area rugs, and some accessory ideas, and they'll combine your ideas and their expertise and arrive at the room plan that works for you and works within your budget. And that's all there is to it. It's that simple. Stop in and see them today at McKinstry's Home Furnishings in downtown Beaver Dam, where customers matter and quality counts. Kale Zomer here in the Daily Dodge TV studio. We've got Corey Sparks up in the WBEV Slumberland studios, and joining us on the phone as she does each and every Monday, my pal Diana Ogle from Park Village Shopping Center. Good morning, Diana.
Good morning, partner. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Did you manage to beat the heat this weekend?
Holy moly, she was a tough one out there.
Yeah, it was one of those weekends. I was telling folks off the air here that it was one of those weekends, especially yesterday. I'd be in the air-conditioned house for like 3 or 4 hours, and then I walked out last night to fire up the grill, and I think after about 2 minutes, it was starting to get hard to breathe because that humidity was just so thick, my lungs felt heavy.
Well, you know what I did? I had a Dunkin' kind of day on Saturday.
Hey, that's a good thought.
They've got all them great summer drinks there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it was all good. I mean, they got the fruity ones. You can get your Frappa, whatever they call it. I don't know what it is. They have iced coffee and all that, but I love those fruit smoothies. They're so good. So that's a way to start your day. And then, of course, Greg and I did round it out yesterday with some ice cream. In fact, we had ice cream twice yesterday.
I was going to say, this was the weekend. I mean, this was the weekend to have some Baskin-Robbins ice cream.
Absolutely. They got 30-minute flavors, so I'm like, we'll just try something different now. So it's all good.
Well, speaking of the heat, Diana, Beaver Dam Peppers. We're not that far off from Beaver Dam Pepper Festival. Now's the time to be thinking about your Beaver Dam peppers.
Well, it sure is, my friend. It's always held the second Saturday of September at the Park Village Shopping Center, and this year it's Saturday, September 13th. And here's a fun fact. We've got some extra Beaver Dam pepper plants. Not too late to plant them yet. They're down at the Beaver Dam Chamber, which is at 127 South Spring Street in beautiful Beaver Dam. So there's a 4-pack for $5. Tracy and her team down there, they do such a great job promoting everything within the community. They're just warriors in that arena, and so they've got that going on. So pop in down there and you can find out, talk to Libby and the team and Shannon and everybody else down there and find out everything that's going on within the community. They got all kinds of books from all over the different counties and everything, so it's all good. But in the July issue of Inspire magazine, we're going to feature a full page of the Beaver Dam Pepper Fest, and it's going to be an entry form for the chili cook-off, my friend.
Ah, okay.
So if you think you've got the chili that's going to beat everybody else, like Ron Wilkie always thinks he does, and he's done pretty good. He's won a few times. And fill that out. It's only $10. You could win $100. And
nice.
So, yeah, everything's on there. So Inspire Magazine is going to be doing that. And they're also going to be doing an article about volunteering at different events. So we know that this community is loaded with people that have a heart for helping, and they're always volunteering all the time. And so, I talked to Denise Fitzsimmons, and she said, we need to focus on those folks because they work tirelessly, and they're kind of behind the scenes. So, we have those folks at Park Village Shopping Center as well. We got folks that come around and pick up some of the garbage and do different things. And we've got stuff that's going to make you happy, ice cream and everything. And if you need a Beaver Dam pepper plant, by golly, you swing on down to the Chamber and Visitor Center down there at 127 South Spring Street and get yourself some 4-pack of peppers.
I love that there's always something good and fun happening over at Park Village Shopping Center. And Diana, one of my guests today is local historian Roger Noll. And, Roger's a guy who, he knows a lot about Beaver Dam, so he has to stay in the know. And I think he had a question for you regarding Park Village Shopping Center. What was your question, Roger?
When is Ollie's open?
Ollie's. I just got asked that this morning when I was at the Y. I was walking in the pool, and somebody said to me, so this Ollie's, talk to me. So that's right next door to Hobby Lobby. So I'm looking at somewhere around August-ish. So they've gone in and they've updated everything, the HVAC and all that stuff. So I'm looking somewhere around August-ish. And you can go online and look at Ollie's, Ollies. There's one in West Bend. There's one in Fond du Lac. And it is a huge discount store. So you'll have everything from flooring to textiles to food to furniture. It's got all kinds of fun stuff in there, and it's going to be fun. And when they open up, you can be one of Ollie's armies. And so you get this card. It's a discount card you get, so that's kind of fun too. So that's going to be happening somewhere around August-ish.
And they're always changing their inventory. So.
Oh, my friend, they do. I know. So if you see something you like, you better buy it.
Yeah.
It won't be there forever.
And visit often.
Yeah.
Because
Visit,
something new will
absolutely.
always be there.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And so we were in Myrtle Beach earlier this year, and there was an Ollie's down there, and I went and talked to the guy, and I said, hi, we're from Wisconsin, and, there's going to be an Ollie's up by us. And he said, Wisconsin, is that like Canada? And I went, Kinda.
Yeah. We're like South Canada, exactly.
Yeah,
Diana,
we're not far. So you guys have the best of the rest of your day. Roger, always good to talk to you, my friend.
Thank you.
Thanks, Diana. That is Diana Ogle with Park Village Shopping Center. When we come back, we'll visit with Anita Strite from the Beaver Dam Community Library here on Hometown Today.
floor covering. You're listening to Hometown Today on the 5,000 watt flamethrower on your hometown station, 95.3 WBEV, powered by Daily Dodge.
And welcome back to Hometown Today on 95.3 WBEV. Hometown Today is presented by Professional Floor Covering, also brought to you by McKinstry's Home Furnishings in downtown Beaver Dam. We are back with Roger Noll, local historian, and Anita Strike with the Beaver Dam Community Library. We got to have great conversation with Roger, but now we get to talk with Anita. We talked a little bit on Friday about some things coming up, but we want to remind folks, Roger's presentation coming up next Wednesday is not the only thing going on.
Right. So I'm just going to kind of recap what's going on this week first. We have an afternoon story time today. That's for families who want their kids to be read to. That's at 1 p.m. And we always have a morning story time, and that runs through the whole summer. And then Miss Sam, our youth librarian, she's going to be at Family Fest at the Wayland Fieldhouse on Wednesday, and that runs from 1 to 4. Wednesday is also a busy day for us. We're going to have our Korean War anniversary program at 6 p.m. with Jack Kwan. And if you like bingo, we have bingo on Thursday at 2. And then we always do a free event for all ages called Friday Fun, and they're doing paper plate weaving. So taking a paper plate and making it beautiful.
Oh,
and
very,
that's
very
at
cool.
11 a.m.
Okay.
And those people who like fiber crafts, we have the Fiber Craft Social. That's on Saturday. It starts at 10:30 and goes to noon, and it's kind of a drop-in program. Bring a project. We usually have something to drink or eat there and just create with other people who like to do that. And then in the afternoon, anyone who likes Pokemon, we have our Pokemon Club once a month, and that starts at 1 p.m.
All right, so that's just this week,
Just this week.
at Beaver Dam Community Library.
Yeah.
So there's definitely plenty going on. You've got some other things coming up here in the over the next couple of weeks as well. Talk about some of those.
Well, right. The one I kind of really wanted to highlight because I'm excited, we've never had the International Crane Foundation come to the library, and next Tuesday, that's July 1st at 6 p.m., they're going to come and do a program called Cranes Over Wisconsin. So it's going to be a program of how to kind of identify when you're kind of looking as you're driving what kind of crane it is in the field, also to identify them by their sounds. And the International Crane Foundation is really working to try to preserve the crane population in Wisconsin and those that migrate through. So they're going to fill us in all on that, and that's July 1st at 6 p.m.
All right, very good. Talk about some of these other things coming up too here as we get into July.
Oh, right. So we have a really exciting one coming up with Chef Amber Sawyer. If you recognize the name, she also has a horse named Derek that she brings to the library, and she's written a book about a racehorse, Derek. So she's kind of been around town, but her big program is during the summer she brings Derek actually into the library, sometimes out of the library, and people can have their picture taken with Derek.
Does Derek have a diaper?
I think she has something to take care of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, my mind too is going to logistics. All right.
Yeah, she just can do anything. So she's also a chef. She was working in the area, but she moved over to Richland Center to their golf course over there as a chef. But she's coming back, and she's going to do Asian fusion picnic foods. And that's on July 8th at 6 p.m. And that is a registration program. So you can call the library at 920-887-4631 or register online for that program. And it's everything at the library is free, if I didn't mention that before.
Yeah.
So we just have to know how many people are coming so we know how many supplies to purchase.
Gotcha. You've also got a puzzle competition coming up in July.
Right,
Talk a little bit about that.
Last year was our first year doing the puzzle competition, and I wasn't sure what to expect, but I think we had 10 different teams. You have 2 hours to complete a 500-piece puzzle, and whoever wins gets a prize. And then we also have runner-up prizes, and every other team that kind of hasn't quite made the first or second prize winner, you get to keep your puzzle.
That is going to be really, really fun.
Yeah, it's July 2nd. And it starts at 10 a.m. and goes to noon, and we have refreshments, and people that just want to come and watch can do that too. It's super tense and exciting. But that also requires registration, and it is free.
I know we touched on this a little bit when you were here last week, but in case anybody missed it, remind us the details of the summer reading program that you have going.
Right. So the summer reading program runs through July. I'm not sure which week we're in right now. I don't have that memorized, but you can join at any time. You pick up your reading log at the front desk. If you haven't started, you can start on whatever week we're on, and then you read, I think it's 60 minutes, and then you get prizes along the way. So each 60 minutes you complete in a week, bring in your log, and then you get a prize.
That is,
and it's for all ages. Adults can do it too.
Yeah, that's important to point out, exactly. And the library just has, all kinds of regular stuff. Talk about some of this other stuff that's going on. We got Friday Fun. What's that all about?
Okay, so Friday Fun, I kind of mentioned we're doing the paper plate weaving this week, but we have something for Friday Fun every single Friday, because that's when the summer school, they don't have summer school. It's to engage kids and actually all ages throughout the summer. So we're not having one on July 4th because the library's closed, but on the 11th of July will be the movie Dog Man, and then on the 18th will be Cheerio Bird Feeders, and then on the 25th of July we're doing Moana 2, and all of these programs start at 11 o'clock. And it's just a way to just kind of come and do something fun, low-key, with your friends, and it's all free.
Obviously, the other big thing going on right now at Beaver Dam Community Library is the big construction project. And again, for those who missed it last week, what's the latest update?
Right. So currently, we are planning to move out of our library in August to prepare for construction during the fall. And as far as we know now, construction will be fall through the winter, and then we'll move back in spring.
Gotcha.
We don't have an exact timeline. We're kind of working with our project managers and the architects to finalize the timeline. Watch for updates either on social media. We're on Facebook and Instagram, as well as the city website. And we also have a sign out front on the library if you're just driving past, and we advertise on there as well.
And the Facebook and the website, two really, really great places to stay updated on everything happening at the Beaver Dam Community Library, because there is a lot happening over there.
There is.
And again, we can't stress it enough. It's a free resource.
Have you revealed where you're going to go yet?
Oh, right. So so where we are moving, and yes, that is finalized. We have occupancy. If anyone knows where the Noble Clinic is, it's in that building. It used to be Bassett Furniture. If you're really old like me, it used to be Kmart.
Yeah, you had reminded me of that.
Yeah, and it's right next to Aldi.
All right, very good. Well, again, visit the website, follow them on Facebook for all the latest Anita Strike with the Beaver Dam Library. Roger Noll, local historian, thanks so much for coming on today.
Thank you.
And
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, don't forget, folks, this Thursday is the 2025 Good Comer Brands John Moser Children's Radiothon. We kick it off this Thursday, 6 a.m., 27 hours. We'll be on the air. We've got a ton of stuff we're going to be putting up on the auction block. You can check those out on the Radiothon page, DailyDodgeTV. And check back often this week because we're continuing to add items. So check back the Radiothon page at DailyDodge.com.
Brat Fry.
Yeah,
Brat Fry.
Yeah, and Brat Fry on Thursday too. That's going to do it for Hometown Today for this Monday. Community Comment is next on 95.3.